At least 10 people were killed and 50 wounded in Israeli strikes in Lebanon's Bekaa Valley, after the Israeli military said it had targeted Hezbollah sites in the Baalbek area. The strikes on Friday were among the deadliest reported in eastern Lebanon in recent weeks, and risk testing a fragile US-brokered ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah. The Israeli military said in a statement that it struck Hezbollah command centers in the Baalbek area, part of eastern Lebanon's Bekaa Valley. In a separate statement on Saturday, it said it had eliminated several terrorists of Hezbollah's missile array in 3 different command centers recently identified as operating to accelerate the organization's readiness and force build-up processes, while planning fire attacks towards Israel. Iran-aligned Hezbollah said on Saturday that 8 of its fighters, including a commander, Hussein Mohammed Yaghi, were killed in Friday's strikes by Israel in the Bekaa area.
We witnessed a terrible massacre carried out by the monsters in the Gaza Strip. In the face of the terrible cruelty of bloodthirsty terrorists, we stood up. We fought back fiercely against our attackers, exacting a very heavy price from those who sought our lives. We removed the chokehold that the Iranian axis of evil sought to place around our neck. And no less important than that, we brought back all our hostages to Israel, up to the very last one, Rani Gavili, of blessed memory. During the days of intense fighting, I met some of you in the field as regular fighters, long before you arrived at the officers' course. I saw your determination up close. I was impressed by your courage. I salute your daring and I salute your belief in the justice of our cause. You charged forward into terrorist strongholds, destroyed enemy infrastructure, demolished death tunnels, and eliminated terrorists, a great many terrorists. The spirit of victory accompanied you in every step you took. And your tremendous spirit, together with the tremendous spirit of the entire nation, gave me and the government of Israel strong backing to make wise and bold decisions. We withstood enormous pressures, both from within and from outside. We did not fold, we did not give in. From Gaza to Yemen, from Lebanon to Iran, everyone who attacked us felt the force of our arm. And if anyone still hasn't noticed, there are some important changes here in Israel's security doctrines that have developed before and after the establishment of the state. In the 1920s, Jabotinsky's Iron Wall approach emerged. Because our main strength is our military and security power, which is meant to deter and stop attacks from our enemies. A decade later, the principle of leaving the fence was adopted, inspired by the British officer Ord Wingate, who was a friend of the Jewish community. The concept of leaving the fence gained renewed importance starting from the days of the underground movements. Not just defense, but also proactive attacks against those who sought to harm us. The first Prime Minister, David Ben-Gurion, who advocated for deterrence and decisive action, emphasized the need to shift the focus of the war into enemy territory. Now, in the War of Independence, we have refined this principle many times over. We went far beyond the borders of the state, deep into enemy territory, deep into the enemy capitals, almost all of them. We operated within an unprecedented radius, at a very great distance, in order to remove existential threats from above us, as I promised on the second day of the war. We have changed the face of the Middle East, and I tell you, no less important than that, and perhaps even more important than that. We have changed ourselves. Today, Israel is stronger than ever before. Anyone who boasted that Israel is as weak as a spider's web, well, he is no longer with us. He received the answer he deserved. Our iron fist struck hard at every aggressor. But distinguished guests, with all the tremendous achievements we have accomplished together, it is important to remember that, just as after the great victories of the Six-Day War, the Middle East now stands at a crossroads. The extremist elements refuse to give up. They are regrouping in order to challenge us once again. We are not resting on our laurels. We are prepared and vigilant to defend ourselves. In the face of every challenge, we act in close coordination with our great ally, the United States. I made clear to my friend, President Trump, the principles that, in Israel's view, should guide any negotiations with Iran. We are fully prepared and ready for any possible scenario. And there is one thing that remains absolutely certain. If the Ayatollahs commit the grave error of launching an attack against us, they will confront a devastating retaliatory response that they cannot even begin to imagine. As for Gaza, our forces are encircling the Strip from all directions. You were there, you know. According to the principles of war we have set, Hamas will be disarmed and Gaza will be demilitarized. And we have agreed with our friends in the United States, there will be no reconstruction of the Strip before it is demilitarized. And very soon, Hamas will face a dilemma: to disarm the easy way or to disarm the hard way. But here is something else I promise you. It will be disarmed and Gaza will no longer threaten Israel. And there are more principles in our new security doctrine. Terrorist cells will no longer be allowed on our borders. We will not tolerate the presence of jihadist elements near us. Buffer zones or demilitarized areas several kilometers wide along the country's borders are a necessary requirement to ensure security, to reduce the risk of a ground invasion, and we insist on this. To ensure all this, the IDF remains in the buffer zones, both in Lebanon and in Syria. And another principle, there is no longer containment of threats, no more Mabam, the campaign between the wars with limited fire, no more concept of a villa in the jungle where you hide from the predators beyond the wall. On the contrary, if you don't go into the jungle comes to you, and we go out and act in advance to prevent disaster. Therefore, we will carry out repeated actions to neutralize risks in the area as needed. And of course, we are working to strengthen our alliances. Next week, the Prime Minister of India, a global superpower, my close friend Narendra Modi, will visit Israel. And of course, I am sure you know that just a few days ago, I returned from another diplomatic visit, the 7th since President Trump was elected for his second term. There, I truly met with one of Israel's greatest friends, the President of the United States, Donald Trump. There is no government that has strengthened relations with the United States the way we have. State to state, leader to leader. In the recently published American Security Doctrine, listen to this, the United States recently published a national security document. And in this document, Israel is the only country in the world that the United States defined as an exemplary ally, a model ally. And why? Why did they define it that way? Because we have our own independent strength, the willingness to fight for ourselves, the willingness to struggle for our security. We welcome this close cooperation with the United States. We are grateful and appreciative for the financial assistance, the generous support we have received from the US government over the years. But at the same time, we are advancing a policy of independence in building our strength. So here is another change, a major change in our security doctrine. In the coming decade, we will completely eliminate American financial support from our defense budget and transition from aid to an alliance-based partnership. We will reduce our dependence on external parties and develop on our own capabilities that will ensure our qualitative edge on the future battlefield. Dear officers, at the start of the course, you were cadet fighters, and at the end of the course, you are full-fledged commanders. What has changed? Set high standards for your soldiers, strive for flawless execution, strive for operational success. But I ask you to always remember, behind the tough exterior, there must be a warm heart that is attentive to those around you. I know, we all know, that 4 officers from your class, these brave souls fell in battle, Omri, Eran, Ron, and Eitan. May their memory be a blessing to us all. Eitan's mother, Michal ben Yitzhak, shared a deeply moving account of her feelings when the commanding officers of the elite Egos unit arrived to bring the family her son's cherished red beret. Michal wrote, "From the breastplate of the high priest, who bore the names of the children of Israel on his heart, to the vest of the fighters who carry the people of Israel on their backs, a single thread connects them. Many thanks to you, the officers, men and women, together with your heroic fallen comrades. Many thanks to you. This thread, the thread of our people's life, remains unbroken. Take care of yourselves. Look after one another and safeguard the eternity of Israel."